Aces, I can promise you that not all sunglasses are built the same. Rick's Eyewear is crafted for durability, clarity and style that lasts. And we're so confident that we back ourselves with a 90-day free returns policy just in case they're not a perfect match. Use Aces for 20% off site-wide and find your fit right now at rickseyewear.com.au. Now let's get into the show. Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Tommy Talks. This week, we have the cannon in the building. Trent McKenzie, fresh off retirement. Was it retirement or a delisting? Which club did you join, mate? Because I'm in both.
Mate, I'd say retired for sure.
Yeah, you got to bet into it. Mate, great to have you in the studio. Good to see you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, absolute privilege to be on.
Last time I saw you was at the bot with our man, Brando Matera, fresh off the Kabaddi.
That was it, yeah, the Kabaddi. That was a nice time, wasn't it?
It was a good time. It was good to watch. You look physical. Mate, what's been happening?
Very little, to be honest, Tommy. Obviously finished up end of last year and moved back to Melbourne just before Christmas, end of last year. So just trying to sort my life out and life after footy, pretty much.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Like because you're like me, you never lived in Melbourne, but you're from Melbourne. So when you come back here, it's almost like a fresh start.
Oh, it is. It's like a new state again. And I've moved from a couple. So, yeah, just trying to settle back in and enjoying it.
So how many years at the Suns and Port?
I think it was about 7 or 8 at the Suns, and I think same again for Port. So
a great career, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy, mate.
Yeah, you should be happy. Well done. Let's start from the start. I want to get into the cannon because it was big news, and I remember I went to school with your brother. I was like, mate, your brother's everywhere, and like your leg was just, I don't know. Like I think we've seen some big legs before, but you had an absolute cannon on you. You still do. But who gave you the nickname? And because it stuck pretty well.
Yeah, it did. Early days, can't really remember who it was. One of the commentators after I kicked a goal against Adelaide, I think it was, in Adelaide, and kind of just took off from there. And, I just love kicking long goals. Back then, I was on the wing. I was a skinny wingman. So, I had the freedom to just run around, do whatever and have a shot pretty much. So, yeah, just took off my first year.
Because the boys started to find you. Like I remember watching when, I think I was still at school, but like it was just every time there was a mark outside 50, you just roll around and just smoke it.
Yeah, I think, especially early days on the Gold Coast, no one really, around the competition, no one really knew who we were and how we rolled. So I was just getting some easy run around the back and a few handballs, and I was squawking like a seagull trying to get it. And then I think it was after about 5 or 6, boys started to get onto it and made it a lot harder from there. So, it was a bit of fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, the other clubs, I mean, that was one of the main things. Don't let him run from behind. It's a bit like, Dan Houston and all those kind of guys now. Just don't let him run from behind and get the easy one. Mate, plenty of good stories up on the Goldie, no doubt. What was it like moving up there? Because you moved up there pretty early. Like you had to go to school there, didn't you?
I did, yes. There was 12, 17-year-olds, I think it was. I was a part of that. Early days, I think it was a bit of a struggle. I was started year 12, I think it was, so I moved at the end of year 11 from Melbourne. There was about 6 of us. I think they were still going to school at that time, and then obviously training in the afternoon. And how it worked, it was a bit different. There was 2 of us, myself and Luke Russell, who didn't really care too much about school, so they sent us to a public school, and then 4 of the other boys got the treatment, and they ended up finishing their schooling career, I suppose. And it was a tough 2 weeks, and that's all I lasted. Me and Luke, I remember the first day we rolled in, we got the uniform, we had the black shoes on, nice suit shoes. You wouldn't wear them to the Brownlow, but they were neat enough. They were pretty casual, and it was an AFL type of school, so they said there'll be 5 or 6 boys that'll welcome you on your first day at the front gate. So like, yeah, beautiful. So we walked in, and it's the first thing the guy said to us is, nice kicks. And we're just like, no worries, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I don't know if you're taking the piss, but yeah, thanks. They're pretty good. And I looked at his shoes, and they looked like Tony Hawk with the big skateboarding shoes, had holes in them and all that sort of stuff. So we were probably on the back foot early, and it didn't really last too much longer after that, to be honest.
So you only were there for 2 weeks. So what did you
2 weeks,
just gave up?
Well, the thing was, we just wanted to play footy, and the whole group, except for the other boys that are at school, were training during the day while we were at school, and then we had to do a running session or a gym session after we finished school and by ourselves. So it was pretty hard to to see them going to train and having fun, and that's all we wanted to do. And then we were at school and hating it, to be honest. Like it was tough work, and yeah, we just wanted to train. And 2 weeks went past, and I think I was there, might have been there for an extra day. Luke took off early, so I thought I'm not staying here by myself. So 2 weeks he lasted, and that was it. Didn't finish the school, but yeah, we got into training, and it was probably worth it.
So what, when you finished school, you just told the club, nah, not for me, I'm just going to train more.
Pretty much, and they really wanted us to train pretty much, and they weren't too worried about us not finishing school, so they're like, yeah, do what you want, and
that's great.
Come in and train.
Hey, school's not for everyone. And some people leave early for an apprenticeship, and yours was in football and kicking long bombs from outside of 50. Now, it wasn't all that smooth, was it? Because your drivers, I've heard there's a story behind the driver's license. You might have failed more than twice.
Third time I got it, Tommy.
Third time lucky.
Yeah, the first couple of times, I thought I was going a bit better than what I was. Didn't think I needed any driving tests or I don't know what you call them, when you go with the instructors and
I know what you're talking about.
Not an actual test, but like a few learnings.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I failed mine as well, mate. Don't worry, I failed
so
mine
once. I thought I was too good for that, and I had the same guy the first 2 times. So the first time I did it, I think I was going 60 and a 55, whatever it was. It wasn't much, but it was enough to get the fail. And then the second time, he thought, I'll get this bloke again because he hasn't done anything.
They get paid well as well.
Yeah. He saw me coming. And he started pressing buttons on the car. And I was like, geez, man. And he goes, what's this one? And I was like, and I got absolutely no idea. And that was it, done.
Oh, really?
Failed already before we even started.
What was the button?
It was a demister.
Oh, yeah, the old demister.
Yeah. So lucky he wasn't fogging up on the Gold Coast, that's for sure. So
that's stiff.
That was stiff. And then the third time, I think I might have got a young lady and passed in flying colours.
Oh, you passed the third time. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
I failed mine the first time as well.
Yeah.
I got rolled. And I was filthy because I was pretty, like I'm a safe driver. I don't like hoons. And I got done because I didn't do a hand gesture because this old couple walked on the road as I was turning right. So, when you got a green, they didn't have it was red walking man, whatever you want to call it. And they walked on the road, then they walked back. So I couldn't go because they were on the road. And then the lady said, pull over after I eventually went. And she's like, it was about 22 minutes in because it goes about just over 25, 30 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, how done am I? I'm like in the middle of the test going, I've nailed it, right? And she's like, you failed your driver's test. And I'm like, and I actually got dirty. I was like, how have I failed? Like, no hand gesture. Yeah. I'm like, hand gesture? Like two hands on the wheel. So yeah, you should have gave a hand gesture because the people walked on the road. I went, oh, you're kidding.
I just start making them up, I reckon.
Yeah, and I had it on my birthday as well.
So you're ready to go. Well, that was another thing for me too. I was up in Queensland and no one had their licence back in Melbourne. You get it a year early up in Queensland. So I was hoping, I could go back down to Melbourne, drive everyone around, all my mates, and we'll be off. And then failed a couple of times, so a bit of a delayed start. But we got there in the end.
People can drive you around. And it's early up there. You were only 17.
17, yeah.
So that's not 18 like me.
That's it.
Now, you did a lot of work up there. You boys, name some players that you hung out with because there's a lot of talented 17, 18-year-olds.
There was. Brandon Matera was probably my best mate up there. Yeah, Big Murta, or Little Murta. We had a nice household, actually. There was 5 of us living in there. Harley Bennell, Jacob Gilby, Tommy Lynch, and obviously Brandon Matera. So
it's a lot of personalities in that house.
It was a mixed bag, that's for sure. We had a lot of fun.
I heard that all you would do is just play FIFA.
Early days, definitely. I just used to shut it down, hard day of training, go into my room, didn't want anyone to come in and annoy me and just absolutely smack FIFA pretty much every day, all day. And I was spending some serious hours on FIFA.
What team did you play with?
Oh, who did I have? Back then, it probably would have been like a Liverpool or something in the Premier League.
Or Bamiyang on the. I think was he dormant? I remember we used to go the quick. Anyone quick?
Yeah, that's it. You need a bit of speed, especially the wingers.
We used to smash FIFA back in the day. I was just.
I think everyone did.
How much PlayStation do you play between I reckon 15 and 21? Probably because you're staying out, like you're not going out. Yeah. Like you got to kind of commit to not drinking and all that while your mates are going out and. Just find yourself playing that much PlayStation.
And you do get a lot of time off as a footballer. Yeah. Apart from training, there's a lot of downtime. So
have you found that now? Like even just, you will when you get, you're at the moment, you're just cruising, but you're going to find a gig soon.
Yeah.
But Well, it's probably hard for you to find it, but you'll realise how much time you had when you go, far out, I'm bloody working like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I found that as I left the club in Adelaide toward the last couple of months I was there, when you're not at the footy club, there's a lot of time like doing not much. So, you do get a lot of time. You need to fill it in somehow. So, that was me playing a lot of FIFA and a bit of Call of Duty as well.
Well, you're a pivotal member of the Lockdown League. That's how we all started.
We did, yeah.
You're in the Lockdown League, top 32 in the country. There we picked you out.
Yeah.
What'd you come there?
I don't really want to. I didn't think you were going to bring that up, but
you go out for straight sets.
I think I was early days to Braden Fiorini. Still thinking about that this day, to be honest.
Mate, do you know that was putting that together was some of me. It wasn't me. It was my finest work, maybe, but it was the toughest thing I reckon I've done to this day.
Yeah, especially during COVID.
Doing it out of a garage and doing it out of a garage with a green screen.
It worked.
Probably was illegal looking back. I think it might have been illegal.
Could have been. We didn't get paid for it.
Oh, mate. We'll get to some more footy, but now that just while you're out of the game and you would call it the gap year, but what are you looking to do? Like you obviously it's the hardest part, man, trying to find a job or find your passion for something. But have you got a kind of an idea of what you want to do? Like put it out there. For anyone that's watching and listening, like have you got, I guess, an industry that you're trying to get into so we can kind of hopefully someone out there can get in contact? Because I know it's hard to like finish football, 14 years and then just start a job. Like you don't even know where to start.
Well, I've always liked sport and I've had a few conversations about the sports betting companies about account managing and stuff like that. So that's interests me a fair bit. So I think I'll go down that path.
What to get you the points bet?
I know, I just saw that.
Well, mate, after this podcast, let's get the points bet crew on the phone. I reckon there'd be something there. You might be a VIP account manager.
That's it. No, I'm happy to do that.
Dealing with murder.
I'm taking all these shit bets.
I tell you what, betting in Perth is tough. I've never had a tip in WA that gets up, except for Pike when Pike was running it, running hot. You just back in, but. Yeah. I reckon WA racing is the hardest to back a winner.
It is, yeah. And I think Pikey was injured there, I think, for the last couple of months. So I didn't know where to look and back a winner. So you take him out of there, it's an absolute
Holly
lottery.
Watson's a good one. I don't mind her. She always gets some big ones. And I love number 11. So I always get on Holly Watson when she's down the bottom on number 11.
They got a couple of nice female jockeys over there.
Yeah. You're a big racing man though, obviously.
Yeah.
We would have had some great stories with Campbell Brown, our man, Magic Millions early days. You've had some good collects as a big group, didn't you?
We did. It was the Magic Millions, one of the great days on the Gold Coast. Brownie had his horse Sweet Idea going, and he gave us a mail pretty early on in the piece, and I think we had it. It was about 60s and about $15 a place. So we got some nice odds, and we all had a fair go at it, and. I think it comes second, on that day. So
it comes second by like a bee's dick.
Yeah, so we were up and about, and obviously still nice place collect. But to be honest, I don't know what would happen if it got up. I think Brownie might have got arrested even when it comes second. So you just imagine how many would have been locked up if it come first.
And he had one. I think he was in the cell and he had one call to make, and it was the club to cancel his credit card because he was shouting the booth and he wasn't there. He didn't even call like any family members or mates. He just called the nightclub. He had one call and said, "Cancel my credit card."
And I think we're in the booth too, popping the bottles.
He would have been grouse as a leader around because Gary Ablett was he was your best player, but he was. From the outside looking in, Gaz was pretty quiet, right? He didn't really go out and all that. So you got Brownie that was a very his big presence, but he got right around the boys, showed you the footy trips. What was he like for the boys?
To be honest, looking back, we were pretty lucky. As a young group, as I said before, we had 12, 17-year-olds moving up to the Gold Coast, and then we had a few more drafted, and then obviously the draft picks come in the years after that. So we're all pretty young, and then we had a group of experienced boys come in, Brownie, Nathan Bach, Jared Harbrow, Rich Catali, the list goes on. And to be honest, like they showed us the ropes on and off the field. And I think, my best times, I suppose, on the Gold Coast come off the field. Footy trips, as you said, Brownie was leading the way. And to be honest, I don't know what would happen if those guys didn't get drafted or didn't get traded over to the Gold Coast. And we had some serious fun, and we're pretty lucky to have them.
It is important to get some experienced campaigners around the young guys. What do you think the Gold Coast Footy Club did wrong? Like now that you're done, you're out of the game. Like what do you think they should have done better?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've had that a few times. I suppose it was hard for everyone because it was the first startup club. No one really knew what they were doing. We had Bluey McKenna as a first-year AFL coach. So there was a lot of first timers there. So it was kind of just making up on the run.
Is that the problem, though? Do you reckon it should have been someone from another, I don't know, someone that's been there and done it with anything, where they've gone, all right, starting something completely new in a new state?
Yeah. Do
you reckon that's where they stuffed it?
I think so, yeah. You probably needed a bit of experience. But in saying that, for me, Bluey was fantastic. Well, I said before, he allowed me to play my game and get a few handball receives and do what I wanted to do pretty much. So he was good for me. But I suppose it was more probably off the field, a lot of inexperience and probably didn't get a few things right early, and then it kind of led from there. And then obviously keeping players around probably didn't help either. So
what do you mean by that?
The boys that left the club and didn't really keep that core group around.
Lost the core group, like the OGs.
Much, yeah.
Who was the last original player on the list? Sam Day, mate? I'm trying to think.
I thought Dave Swallow's
Dave's the only one, is he?
Yeah, I think he is the only one that's.
And then Sam Day would have been the second last?
It would have been, last year.
Dave's a champion. He deserves. I said I just hope they play. I mean, I think they will. But he needs to play finals. He needs a lick.
He does. He would have done some hard yards as we all did early days, and he's obviously been there for a few extra years, as has Dave. So it'd be good to see them. Well, Brisbane with Sammy and obviously Dave at the Gold Coast to enjoy some success. It'd be good to see.
Tassie will be different when they start because it's a footy, town. But what would one bit of advice be to them starting up? Because they've got to recruit players.
Yeah,
they've got to recruit certain players. There's young, there's old, there's the in between. Like, what would your one bit of advice be?
Yeah, it's a tough one, I suppose, because recruiting players to the Gold Coast would have been pretty easy. The lifestyle up there was obviously nice. So I don't know. It's hard. I think just go try something different, and hopefully stay around and get some success. I don't know what the lists are, stuff and things like that are for Tassie, but hopefully they start off right and go well.
What about talent though? Like, I feel like Gold Coast had old and young. They didn't really have much in the middle. Like, do you reckon they need to make sure they target that core? Like, if you look at,
I think so, yeah.
Cal Ward, Phil Davis, they were the two. Scully, there's a few others, but at least they were young. Like, they were like 22, 23 coming through. Like, do you reckon that's the key? Get some younger guys that'll be at the end and hopefully have a plan?
Yeah, I think GWS did it well. But in saying that, like, we had some superstars, senior players that come, but obviously towards the end of their careers, they can't stay around for too much longer. So probably getting that balance and that mixture there probably, it would help them for sure.
Let's talk about Hurricane Harley. I played footy with Harley Bennell, but he was. I don't reckon there's a better player in the competition there at one stage. He was. I think we come up against him and he had about 40 and kicked 3, and we were tagging him. Like he was a genuine superstar early days at the Suns.
He was. He had some serious talent. As you said, he had some big games where he'd almost tally up before the game. Like, this is how I'm going today. I'm feeling pretty good. So I'll be having 30 and kicking 3 goals. But he obviously had some things off the field that probably didn't go his way. And it would have been good to see him keep going. But he's a good mate of mine. So hopefully he's going to go well off the field and for the rest of his life, because he was a talented player, that's for sure. Yeah,
he was, and he's a funny man as well. When's the last time you saw him?
For sure, to be honest. I haven't seen him in a while. Spoke to him a few times on the phone. Seems to be going well, which is good. But haven't seen too much of him. The great man.
Love it.
He's always been like that. He's always been a hard man to catch.
Elusive. I think I last saw him at Murder's wedding.
That would probably be the last time I saw him as well.
That's great. Now, so while we're speaking about racing, I've got one of the biggest bad beat stories of all time. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Give us the rundown, because I reckon we can find the footage to this, because this sounds like heartbreak.
This was, and I've had a few bad beats, to be honest, Tommy. But this probably
we all have.
As we all have. this tops it off. I think it was probably a 5 or 6 leg multi. It was before a game up on the Gold Coast. We were playing Essendon that day. So sitting there, had a few hours off, put a multi on, and it come down to the last leg. It was Lankan Rupee. It was, I think it was obviously its last start. Had that going for about 10 grand. And it was only the place. So it started at about $1.70, I think. So at the place, it would have been $1.10, if that. I remember watching the race thinking, like, I can't lose this. Like, it should win by 10 lengths.
Yeah, it's a superstar horse.
To place, it shouldn't be a worry.
Build up this race for us.
I remember it actually got off right. Sat. I think it was about midfield. All going well. Only bad luck could get us beat. And standing up, all around, all the boys were around. They knew what was going on.
All the boys around the TV.
All huddled around. And I don't know how far out from the winning post it was, but I just remember saw it like it just pulled up like real sharp, and I was like, "Oh no!" I looked at Brandon and gone, "You are kidding me!" Oh, how's this? What's happened? 10 grand the last leg just to place, and I think it broke down. And that was his last race, and it wasn't the only thing that broke down. I was breaking down as well. To be honest, it was horrid, and I had to play against Essendon that night. I think it actually went all right too.
Yeah, you would have been playing angry.
Lucky I didn't get suspended that game, but I wasn't happy, that's for sure. And that was a tough beat.
All right, that's a pisser, man. It's always the last leg, isn't it?
Yeah. If it happened the first leg, it would have been, that's fine. But
I'd love to ask PointsBet traders, wait, when you work at PointsBet soon, when we introduce you to the team, it'd be interesting to see how many last leg like bad beats. Like happens all the time. Like you'd rather just the first leg out so you don't have to stress. You're like, oh my God, one leg and it's the last.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. The funniest thing is like I could just imagine all the boys around not like they'd be trying not to laugh.
Yeah,
and you're like,
no one knew what to do.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to laugh because he'll get angry. But it's
probably
just
drop one of them.
Yeah. It was a gun horse as well.
Yeah, it's a superstar.
Isn't the yellow?
Green.
I think I remember that. It's Typhoon Tracy kind of colours as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that's the one. But
I should remember. But
yeah, we should remember. I could be wrong. Someone out there that loves their racing will be going, no, that's not the case at all.
I've removed it from the memory bank, to be honest.
And what else did you do? Like you must have been bored on the Gold Coast. Was there things like what do you do when it's a new town?
Yeah.
Just go for a stroll. Like what's the hot spot?
Well, as a lot of people would know, down Hedges Avenue and around Burleigh Heads, there's a bit going on down there. And we used to drive the car up to the top of the hill, get out, and then just go for a nice little stroll down Burleigh, down to Hedges, and then along to Mermaid and back. And really think we're going all right too. Shirt off, peacocking around. And there was a bit to see there too. So we did that most days, most days too. So
who was the biggest peacock?
Well, Murta was a little peacock, probably not the biggest one. Lynchy loved to get the kid off.
There you go.
And roll around
big boy
down the Gold Coast. Yeah, he was happy with his rig too. So he loved getting it off and getting around there. Who else was there? That was, I would say Lynchy, I reckon.
Who was your funniest teammate at the Suns?
Oh, Brownie. Oh, a long way.
He's just a storytelling king, isn't
he? He loves to build him up, and one of the great storytellers.
Yeah, just as a young bloke getting around Brownie, I could just imagine, because he was at his prime then, wasn't he?
Was, yeah. You imagine just these 17, 18-year-olds just looking up to him. Every time he was
hard done by?
I did, yeah. I was obviously good mates with him, so it would have been nice to have him there for a few more years, but it wasn't to be.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't to be, and he, we all know what happened there. Well, let's get into some footy. We'll talk about your time at Port, but I guess, you're one of the players that did leave the Suns as well. Like, when did you think it was time to go to Port and, fresh start? Did you see that your mates were leaving and you thought, oh, look, it's starting to feel like there's better opportunities? Like, what goes through your mind when you're in that position? Yeah, there was a lot of things, to be honest. Obviously, lost a few mates to different clubs, and then my form at that time probably wasn't the best either. I was injured a fair bit and playing a bit of reserves, and the writing was pretty much on the wall, and I needed a fresh start. And I was lucky enough that Kenny was on the Gold Coast as a forwards coach early days, so I had a good relationship with him, and obviously Charlie was there a couple of years early as well. So, it was pretty easy Kenny spoke to me early days, and then he's like, come over and, have a crack at living in Adelaide and playing for Port, and, pretty much went from there. It was pretty easy transition, but it was a few tough years early as well. At Port, I think I hurt my ankle before I even got to the Port, so I was on the back foot early, and when you go to a new club and you try to earn the respect of your teammates and the footy club, and you're in the rehab group trying to find your way back, it made it tough early. But we got there in the end, which was nothing
nice.
worse, man.
No,
Because you can't even you can't even do anything.
Nah, you can't. Yeah, and if you're not I suppose a big dog coming on a big contract from a different club, it makes it hard to.
Yeah.
When you're not training and playing as well, it did make it hard there, really.
I've heard a lot of good things about Kenny from the outside. I've never really met Kenny, but a lot of players love him. And I know even from Geelong days, Gold Coast, or like the players seem to really love him. He cops a fair bit in the media, but like, what's he like? What was he like with you? Obviously, you had that relationship, but what kind of coach is he?
He's a real good people's person. I think with him, he has a nice balance with when to go hard at you if you're not performing, or and to get around you too if you're struggling and you need a bit of help. So I think that's why he was such a good coach and why he was pretty successful. Although I didn't get the ultimate while I was there, but I suppose we had a young group, but then we had some older players as well. And I think the balance that he had with the relationships with the younger players, the 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and then the 30-year-olds is where I think he's such a good coach. He wasn't just like getting around the older boys or just getting around the young boys. He had a nice balance. So, he was, as you said, everyone loves him, and he's such a good people's person, and he loves the races too, which is
Does
good.
he?
He loves his horses. So, we got along well there too.
What do you think he'll do next year?
Not too sure.
What do you think he should do as well?
He probably needs a bit of a spell from footy. I think it's probably taken its toll because he's been involved for a long time, and then I reckon he'd be a good candidate for Tassie coming in. As we said, like that experience from being there and done it before, I think it'll help Tassie. So we could see him in head coach. That'd be
not a bad shout.
Nice, yeah.
Certainly reckon you got to freshen up. Like you can't go straight into another role.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's not? I mean, you're not there now, but is Carr coaching like how's the dynamic last year? Like what's Carr doing in the box and what's Kenny doing on the field? Like is it all Ken or is there a bit of 50-50? Like because you were there last year, they're clearly, this is his last year, isn't it? Like he's already said that. So we're obviously transitioning. Everyone knows. So there's clearly got to be a changing of the guard. I think we can admit that Port's really struggling this year and going to struggle with a bit of personnel leaving and whatnot. So is Carr already kind of coaching? Like what's going on? Yeah,
to be honest, I'm not too sure how it's changed this year. Obviously not being there, but last year nothing was really, I suppose, set in stone. Kenny was still coaching and Kari was assistant coach. So there was nothing that was changed there. It might be different in the box, game day and stuff like that. It could be different this year, but I don't think it would. I think Kenny would still take the reins and Kari would do his job the way he's done it the last few years. So, it could be different this year. I'm not too sure, but it's an interesting one.
And what's Kari like? Because all the Freo boys loved him when he was there. Like, what's he bring to the table?
Yeah, he's a great man, Kari. He's another one that gets along with all the players. He's a great man. He's a smart coach too. He obviously knows what he's talking about, and I think he'd be a really good fit for a young group at Port coming through. So, I think he'd do well.
I noticed last year as well with Kenny, like he was seriously under the pump, wasn't he? Like, could you tell like that you can see the pressure building up? And as a bloke that, you get along with him so well, was it kind of hard or was it just like, come on boys, let's perform? Because I've seen I remember there's a couple of games there where might have been a game, might have even been against the Pies, I think, but there was a game where you just crept over the line and you get a bit emotional in the post-match and you can just see the weight of the world kind of and the pressure that comes with the job. Like, did you see that last year? Yeah,
well, I think he wears his heart on his sleeve, Kenny. And that just shows how much he cares about the club and the players. I remember that. I think it was after a St Kilda win or something like that. He's pretty emotional, and that's what he's like. He cares so much and wants to win. And when you had a few tough losses, it does make it hard, and it's a tough job being an AFL head coach. There's a lot of pressure, and the Port supporters they're pretty brutal too, and they want to see success as everyone does. But he handles it well. I think that's why he's been in the job for so long. But,
yeah, well said. Let's talk about Port. What was your biggest highlight at Port? And then we'll get to the end because I want to know how it went down because I personally think you should still be playing because they just look like they need a little bit more of a stabiliser down there in the back pocket, but they can just kick the ball out and they've obviously lost a few weapons, but we'll get to that at the end in a second. But your time at Port, your best memories?
Yeah, I think the finals series during COVID, I think it might have been 2020, 2021, around then. Had some good success. Obviously didn't didn't win any grannies or anything like that. But I think, some of the finals we played in, and that was pretty much, obviously being on the Gold Coast, there wasn't much of that. So it was my first real experience, and just playing in front of the crowd, packed stadium, never tear us apart, all that.
Yeah, what's that
all
like?
that sort of stuff. Yeah,
you miss it?
I do, yeah. I was actually there on the weekend and could actually see a bit more of it down on ground level. When you're playing, you're kind of in the zone and not really thinking about it too much. Obviously, you can hear it and it's a good atmosphere, but you're pretty locked in and don't really take too much notice of it. But I had a good look at it on the weekend, and it's pretty special. They do it well, and I will miss that for sure.
It looks like it would just pump you up when you walk out.
Oh, it does, yeah.
And it's cool that you've got that. Like, not a lot of people have got that kind of song or like something there's a bit trademark, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Righto, some quick ones. Funniest sledge you've heard on the field?
Buddy Franklin, give me a good one. He was calling me Eric McKenzie for a bit from West Coast, and then he said, what did he say? He goes, come over here if you want to get on TV. Come play with me if you want to get on TV. I was like, that's not too bad.
He would have used that 1,000 times, wouldn't he? That's good. Which teammate took you under the wing the most from both clubs?
Brownie from the Gold Coast. From Port, I was pretty much a bit older, but I'd say Tommy Cleary, good man.
Nice. What's the weirdest fan encounter you've ever had and the weirdest thing you've signed?
Oh, weirdest thing I've signed. Don't know, maybe someone's forehead, something like that.
Yeah.
A bit of skin. I don't know why people do that.
Just mix it up. What quick ones? Best banter at the club? Both go both?
Best banter. Say Stephen May, Gold Coast, and Port, Dan Houston when he was there.
Worst fashion sense?
Brownie, Gold Coast.
How bad?
I think it's getting worse as well.
It actually would be all right up there because at least you can wear thongs. He wears thongs to the wine bar and the bot. Okay, Brownie, can you put some shoes and socks on?
We had his shirt off for most of the time. So, and Port, I'd say Zach Butters. No good.
No good.
Nah, shocking.
Come on, Butters. Most likely to be late to a team meeting?
Ivan Soldo.
Really?
Yeah, Port. Didn't like being on time.
Too busy editing some of his content. He's been really going hard on the content lately,
really
old Soldo.
Up, the big dough. Gold Coast, probably me early days.
Yeah,
loved a bit of a sleep in too. So.
Yeah, and never realised you had to be there like just before the time. Just get there
exactly
right on. And everyone's like, mate, fucking you're late. And coach's pet. Who was the coach's pet?
Coach's pet, Tom Lynch on the Gold Coast, sure. At Port, everyone says Zach Butters. We all know
that's
that.
What I was thinking.
I'd say Dan Houston when he was there too.
Yeah. Does that mean it was weird seeing him leave?
It was, yeah. I suppose, it always happens.
It's a game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's all changed now, but I know he did love his time there. But obviously family back in Melbourne. And, obviously when they played last week, was it? 2 weeks ago, sorry.
Touch-ups.
I know, that wouldn't have been good for him.
Are you surprised they didn't run with having someone run with him?
I think so. Yeah, he's obviously a superstar. It was a bit interesting.
Ego in that one?
Yeah, I think so. We won't go too much into that.
No, we won't, man. I don't want to get you in trouble. Yeah, you're not playing there anymore, so we can talk a bit more freely. All righty, let's get into the end of the career. Like, I would love to know what went down because I'm pretty sure that you wanted to keep playing. Talk to people about the industry. 14 years, great career, a club that needs everyone on the park. They've got a few injuries at the moment, but did you feel like you were going to play another year? And if you didn't, just tell everyone how brutal it is because it's not like you ever get an answer. It's like, mate, we're still making decisions. Just give everyone a bit of insight on how tough it is at the end of your career.
Yeah, it's always tough. And I suppose that's the industry. Everyone's got to make changes at the end of the year. And I think, I might have played three or four games in the reserves last year. Body was, no good. So kind of could see where it was heading and where it was going. I just couldn't get out in the park and, you're no good when you're not playing. So, it was obviously tough. I would have loved to keep going. But, I don't think – and that's what the club said to me as well. I don't think you'd be able to get through another year, which was fair because I couldn't even get through the year before. So, it's obviously tough because – when you're playing for 14, 15 years, that's all you know, and you go off to your off season and then you come back and you're into pre-season, all of a sudden it's all changed and that's not happening. So, but I was pretty content with that, to be honest. I was happy to come back to Melbourne, be around family and try something different. So, but it is always tough, leaving a place where you've been for so long.
What's the hardest thing about the transition? Because you're right in the middle of it and you're probably going through the hardest part now, 6 months out.
Yeah. I suppose just knowing what you want to do. I always thought I was going to stay in footy and do a bit of coaching and stuff like that. But, kind of went away from it, being away from footy over the summer. So, just I suppose changing your mind a few different times and what you actually want to do, that's probably been the hardest thing.
And what do you do with your spare time? Obviously, you at the moment you don't have a job, but you're having that little just space to kind of work out what you want to do. We'll get you in. Obviously, we'll call points bet after this and tee up the meeting. Nothing will make me happier than seeing you in the HQ. But what's it like? What's happens there?
Yeah, it was obviously a lot of coffees and catch up with people. That's pretty much all I've been doing. The double shot lattes are getting a fair run.
Mate, I had the double shot lattes. I cut them out. I went out to single shots because I don't want to have 8 shots a day, mate. You almost get a bit anxious by 4 o'clock.
Can't sleep when you get home. Trying to catch up with people and just try to see where life's headed next, pretty much. And I got a nice dog at home that keeps me company. I take him out. He's happy with me being home. So yeah, pretty chilled. No FIFA though. No
FIFA. Well, mate, you can play. You've got a lot of time on your hands. You should get the controller out.
Yeah, I know.
Now, mate, I've got to just say thanks for coming on the pod. It's great to have you here. Now that we know that, we're going to try and facilitate this and get you. Anyone out there that wants to help this man, get in contact with you. They might have an opportunity you haven't thought of. That's the hardest part, I reckon. Like, there's opportunities everywhere, but you just don't know. You almost need to just have a 1 week experience, experience to go, no, I don't mind this. Well, mate, as you know, on Tommy Talks, I'd love you to go home with a little present, and thank you so much for coming on, brother. I love getting blokes like you on the pod. Now, the Ricks box of gold. Now, you got to open the lid and chuck a pair on. Tell me which one you're going to tell us why you're going to put that one on.
Get a little mic out of the way. What do we got here, Tommy?
Well, we've got a few options there, mate. It's all about what you think.
Brown. I like the black, just the plain. That could be me.
Here we go. The black Soho. Bang. Yeah, you made everyone $1 million.
Wow.
And if you want a pair of sunnies online, rickshighway.com.au, use the discount code ACES and get 20% off and free express shipping. We've already touched on who's got the worst style, the brown dog. What about who's got the best style?
Best style. We'll go back to Ivan Soldo again. I reckon he's stepped up his social media, and I think that's got a fair bit to do with his style. He loves his fashion, so we'll give him a shout out.
Yeah, big Soldo, big man. The ladies love Soldo. I've been out with Soldo, and obviously you got the missus now, but it's just the big Croatian. They love him.
He's a big man.
I've heard some girls walk past him and whisper some things in his ear, but too loud. I go, did I just hear that? He's a big Croatian. He's just the man.
Yeah, you stay away from him when you go out, so you can really. It's a bit like you, actually, Tommy.
Give me a spell. If you go out with a bloke like him, you can't even see. He's just he's a head above everyone, just getting all the attention. What about at the Suns, mate? Who's got the best style?
The best style, jeez.
Dave Swallow had a pretty good style.
He did, yeah. Early days especially, coming over from Perth. He was a bit of a rooster himself, so he loved that the metro look back in the day.
I think we all did, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that was. When was that? About 15 years ago now, so we're going back a bit, but yeah, probably Dave.
That's gross. Well, mate, thanks so much for jumping on the pod. All the best.
Thanks, mate.
I'll tee that meeting up after this. So, PointsBet crew, you're listening. Let's get you on. So, just one more time. What do you want? What job do you want? Let's just put it out in the universe and get it to come back.
Yeah, I want to be account manager at PointsBet.
Well,
Tommy?
There you go, Trenter. The big cannon in the PointsBet HQ. If you're listening, team, get involved. We need you in the building. Well, mate, all the best. We'll keep in contact, no doubt, now that you're back here. Hopefully, Murder gets down in Melbourne soon. Otherwise, we'll have to go over to WA together. But to everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Tommy Talks. I hope you've enjoyed this one with the big cannon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share this with a mate, and we'll see you next week right here on American Aces. Cheers. Aces, I know that's the end of the show, but here's a shameless plug for Ricks. It doesn't come without great value. Use our discount code ACES to get 20% off site-wide on us. And don't be worried about shopping eyewear online. We'll give you our 90-day free return policy just in case they're not the perfect fit. Head over to rickshighway.com.au and find your fit today.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.